I think it's afternoon. Good afternoon. Happy St. Patrick's Day. I see a few Irish ladies and gentlemen out there, and maybe a few others that are Irish for the day. I'm wearing my dad's tie. I think it's from 1962. If you notice it, back in the day, I think it ended right here, so I had a little trouble trying to get it to work today. But good afternoon. It's been several months since we were here. Late last year, as we are really about a year ago at this point, as we launched the budget for this year, and we talked about this. We talked about an investment in our neighborhoods. And you know, citizens regularly tell me that public safety is their top priority. It has been my administration's top priority from day one. They want to know what we're doing and everything that we can do to prevent crime from happening, and we will be where we will be quickly and where our resources are going. The right resources do include officers who really get to know the neighborhoods and people where they work, who understand and are current on the crime patterns and use the relationship and information proactively and reactively. That's what makes today so exciting. Opening the Northside Precinct gives officers and the public a way to interact. It gives the Spokane Police Division a greater and more visible presence on the north side of our city. The Northside Precinct in Hillyard gives SPD and the public another tangible resource to continue to build partnerships together. Resources have been strategically focused in police service areas for some time now, and the resources and the investments are producing results. Here in the North Police Service area, crime is down double digits as we approach the end of the first quarter. Crime was also down double digits last year. That's the payoff of focusing resources, engaging the public, and building a partnership that stands up and says that we will not accept crime in our neighborhoods, not in our city, and not in our community. Together, we're making great progress in our efforts. Thank you. And especially all these officers here, thank you for that. Today, we're making great progress in our efforts to make Spokane safer every day. Our officers are better prepared to prevent crime and respond when it happens. Use of force incidences have also decreased significantly over the last year. Better use of data, improved training, and updated equipment, and increased visibility of our officers are all factors that are driving down crime. There is work left to be done, of course, and I'm encouraged by the progress made by the men and women of the Spokane Police Division. Neighborhood condition officers are patrolling our neighborhoods, getting to know us and your neighbors, and meeting with businesses along the way. Believe it or not, I was a little early today, so I stopped off and went through a few of the stores that I always like going through. I'm looking now for lilac pens, and you can find them, the old ones out here in Hillyard, and it was so great to talk to some of the business owners here on Market about them knowing that this was coming, apologizing they couldn't come because they wanted to keep their stores open, but knowing and having the confidence that this investment is in their neighborhood. Being closer to citizens and that the officers serve, solidifying key community relationships, and initiating progressive and proactive interactions is also driving down our crime, and that's what our officers are doing every day. The approach has proven to be successful, and today is just the next step in our deliberate approach to reducing crime citywide. There's plans, believe it or not, to expand the geographic policing model even further to include greater and more visible presence in downtown and put more officers on the South Hill. We are becoming safer. We're becoming stronger, and we are doing it in smarter ways as we deliver police services. The results are making Spokane and the Spokane Police Division a model locally, regionally, and truly nationally. You know, and I see some of our great volunteers here, both through the police volunteer program and the COPS program. The volunteer programs are key and are a long-time community partnership that can continue to have that foundation in community policing. The Youth Policing Initiative, now in the second year, I want to thank the great officers that are a part of that. And if you haven't watched that, it is just simply amazing to see our officers in the schools and in the community centers meeting on the level of our youth and really engaging them. You know, it's also the improved transparency that's kept us accountable and invited the public to engage with the Spokane Police Division, its officers, and it is producing a great positive impact in those proactive forums. All of the work, as I've just talked about, and the two gentlemen behind me will talk about some more, all of this work has opened the doors for us to be able to open the doors to the public in ways that have never been seen before. Today is another example of the great work our police division is doing in partnership with the community, in partnership with the city council, and I see Amber Waldriff here from the Northeast. Thank you for being with us, Councilwoman. It is this partnership in our budgeting, in our planning, in our strategic vision for the city, our strategic vision in Vision 2020 to become the safest community of our size. It truly begins in the neighborhoods, and this is just another example of the resources we are putting into our neighborhoods. With that, I'll be followed by the chief.
Thank you. So good afternoon and welcome to your precinct. It was a year or so ago that we announced that we were going to start a police service area, and we began moving assets up to the northern part of the city. Captain Keith Cummings was our first police service area captain, and I think he did a wonderful job. The most important thing that he did was getting to know you. When I was standing by the door, a woman came in and said, "You know, you've done so much. When you first got here, we didn't trust you," meaning me. I don't blame you for that. I'm from New York, so we generally operate under that circumstance anyhow. But I think that the telling part of that statement is that we have to earn trust. And you don't earn trust just by talking about statistics. You don't earn trust by flashy programs. You earn trust by what you do day in and day out. And you probably have heard me before, and you've heard other police leaders talk about Sir Robert Peel, who started the London Metropolitan Police Department, really the first police department on record. And his famous saying is that the people are the police and the police are the people. And that is the mantra that I truly believe in. For many years, this was a storage facility, for lack of a better word, of police vehicles and police equipment. And I would argue, to some degree, it was a bit of an eyesore. We had this ugly chain link fence out there, certainly not inviting, not something that really contributed to the neighborhood. Well, that chain link fence is down. The doors are open. As you can see, we have plenty of room for you to come and have meetings in our facility, to bring the Boy Scouts, to bring the Girl Scouts, and to bring other people into this facility so that it really becomes, I would hope, a center for Hillyard. One thing I want to share with you, a little bit unrelated to the North Precinct, is as of last Friday, 95 to 100% of our police officers are trained in crisis intervention. Now, I use that percentage gap a little bit for a reason. We have 6 police officers in the academy. Those 6 police officers haven't received the 40 hours of crisis intervention. If we take them out of the equation, we are at 100% of our police officers that have received 40 hours of crisis intervention training. We are the only police department in the state of Washington that can boast that record. But again, what does that mean? So last night we had an individual who went into a crisis situation. He started breaking the windows in his home. He was very violent and acting out. Our officers went. They spent a considerable period of time there talking to him and calming the situation. They didn't believe that it was appropriate to make access to the house, both for his safety and for our safety. So they left. Today, he continued to be in a crisis state. We returned to that house, and we talked to him. And we took him out of his house and brought him to Sacred Heart Hospital. That's what defines the true essence of policing, the true essence of crisis intervention. And I think what you're going to see with Craig Meidel as the captain and his team here in Hillyard is that actions are going to speak louder than words. They're going to speak louder than statistics. But I ask you to join with us This shouldn't be the police and the community, it should be the police and the community intertwined. And the good news, as the mayor alluded to, is crime here continues to go down, both violent crime and property crime. So the true benefit of having the police in the neighborhood, on foot, on bicycles, in cars, Tracy Meidel doing YPI with Jen DeRue up here over and over again, greater relationships between us and the schools, greater synergies. That's what community policing is all about. So I want to thank you for the opportunity to open this precinct in your community, in your home, and please make our home your home. And I'll turn it over to Craig Meidel.
Thank you. I want to thank our Hillyard business leaders for being here. Appreciate you guys making the appearance as well. I also want to start out by saying I am honored to be the captain up in this area. You can't talk about the tradition or history of Spokane without talking about Hillyard. Hillyard is rich with tradition, and to have a police precinct in the heart of Hillyard is a real honor, and it's an honor for me as well. I'm excited about the prospect of having a hub for the community, a hub for our police officers. This will be an area, like the chief said, where the community can come if they have a question, if they need to file a report. If they have a child that just wants to talk to a police officer, there will be police officers here throughout the day as well. It's easily accessible, and just makes us that much more a part of the community when we are out within the community itself. So we're excited about this prospect, and I would also like to introduce my team, if I could get them to come up real quick. Tracy Ponto is a neighborhood conditions officer. Wayne Downing, neighborhood conditions officer, and Doug Strozel, also neighborhood conditions officer as well. And then for investigators, I have Janice Oliver. She's one of our detectives. She's property crimes. Detective Jolly is a property crimes detective, as well as Detective Tim Matson. So this is the core group in this area that will be working out of this precinct as well. We also have the shift commanders for all of the Northside Patrol that will be working out of this precinct as well. So we want to encourage the community to come here, use this. We'll have a conference room. We'll have officers here. Please come and visit us. If you have any questions at all, or if there's any suggestions that you have to offer for us as well, I want to encourage you to approach us. We'll be easily accessible to you. Thank you.
All right, with that, we'll take some questions.
Can you talk a little bit about the difference in terms of staffing and approach with the cop shop and then now the full precinct?
So really what we had with the cop shops, which is an absolutely wonderful innovation and something that Spokane should be incredibly proud of. And we have Christy Hamilton here, we have Jack here, who else is here? Mike Yates was here somewhere. Those are kind of the key leadership of cops that are here today. Cops has been an invaluable way to bring the community and the police together. What we hope is that with the establishment of this precinct, the downtown precinct, and one on the South Hill, that's going to build even greater synergies, greater opportunities for the cops, volunteer program, and the police department to work together, to work closer with our community corrections officers. And Jack Busick not only is a member of the cops board, but he's also one of the leaders of community corrections in the Spokane area. So we see this as an opportunity to, again, open our facility, welcome folks in, and build greater synergies.
What plans are on the table for future precincts?
Go.
Well, as I alluded to, is that we would have a presence in downtown and continue this as we go out into the south part of the city. And so really they're already operating this way. Craig Meidel has counterparts in each one of those areas. We had the smaller facility in downtown Spokane, but again, if you've been in that versus this, you can see the difference. That was really just a place, and it is still. It's a great, it's a great piece for the downtown core. But really, as you talk about the other assets, and the chief and Craig alluded to this, to have the investigative capabilities there, to have the conditions officers there, it really is taking it to the next level. And so we will be rolling these out over the next couple of years, but definitely already operating in a major way of patrolling the city in the geographic areas.
So one of the things that we have talked about publicly is the intermodal in terms of downtown. So that is our next project that is underway. There was a little bit of a misstatement that we are going to have 2 downtown precincts. Upon completion of the intermodal project, that will be the downtown precinct. We will probably continue to keep a storefront or a presence around the STA Plaza. But right now, we have 20 officers working downtown in way too small a space. I can't fit them all in there. The presence has been wonderful, though, in terms of visitors, residents, businesses downtown. It's given us that base of operation again, so that you see officers on foot, you see officers on bicycles. The other thing that the intermodal does is really work with the synergies of the University District, with what's going on in the development of East Sprague, so that those projects reflect continuity to the downtown business district. So having the precinct kind of right there in that gateway between the two areas, we believe is going to help us better serve downtown, but also as that economic development happens both in the University District and on East Sprague, we're going to have a greater presence right there. So that's kind of the next venture, and then something up on the South Hill, hopefully, too, as soon as we can find the suitable location.
How soon can we see the foot patrols and bicycle patrols in the neighborhoods here?
You know, I think we'll wait when the weather gets a little bit nicer. You should start seeing more officers out on the bicycles. And
I
so.
want to see Laszlo walking down the sidewalk, y'all.
You may even see the chief walking down the sidewalk from time to time, too. I threatened to go out on bicycles, and somebody told me I shouldn't do that, that I'll hurt myself. So I'm going to try just walking and chewing gum and see how that works.
Any other questions?
When are you going to get chairs?
That's part of the plan. It's in progress. We're working on furniture and final completions, but hopefully within the next few weeks.
Oh, good.
We wanted it to be nice and open for you so you could stretch out.
It also makes for shorter meetings.
Well, thank you very much for being with us. Obviously, you can walk around and talk to any of the great officers that are assigned to this precinct.
Thank you.